So if you read the title, yes, I'm going to tell you everything that I think is wrong with Android. But before you get all defensive, all you people who love Android, I've been using an Android phone for a while now. I have a Google Pixel 2 XL, and I'm really loving this stock Android feel. There's so many things I love about Android, and I would love to switch completely from iOS over to Android, but there's so many hangups that I want to share with you that I just can't compromise with. So the first one being really a problem for me, but not most typical consumers, is when you're recording video files, it stops after 3.8 gigs and makes another video file. So when I record something for an extended amount of time, instead of having one video file, you have a bunch of little video files that you have to piece back together in post, and that's very annoying for me. Like I said, most typical consumers are probably not doing this, but who knows, you might be wanting to start recording videos with your next smartphone. So Android might not be the best option for you, but that's, like I said, more problem for me. Another thing you really want to consider with Android is third-party applications. That are applications that are not native to Android. That would be all your third-party stuff that you find in the Google Play Store. In my opinion, Android apps are not as good as iOS apps for a lot of different reasons, and we can break it down into some small, understandable bits. But iOS is, an operating system that is designed and made for a smaller number of devices. Apple's made 10 years of iPhones, and usually one phone for several years that they would put out, and then now they're doing about 3 phones in a year. So you have a smaller range of devices that you're developing for, so your software can be more optimized for your hardware. And Apple's made this really nice developer kit for third-party developers where they can make deeply integrated iOS apps, and the quality is just better. APIing is just better. It's just altogether a much better experience than Android. One great example of this is Instagram. Of course, Instagram is both on iOS and Android, and I use both versions, and I will tell you that the iOS version gets updates more regularly and is a lot more integrated with the phone. And I'm telling you, it is night and day experience. Let me just show you some screenshots of one of my friend's Instagram accounts. He takes great photos, but you can notice how on the iOS device the thumbnails are high resolution, and on the Android phone the resolution of the thumbnails is way lower. And that's just one quality thing. There's so many more little details that I could get into, but just from looking, you don't even have to use the app, but just looking at the photos, you can tell that the quality is a lot better on iOS. Another ironic example is YouTube. YouTube, of course, is under Alphabet, the parent company of Google. So YouTube, Google, same thing, Android, all under Alphabet. And YouTube app you think would be better on Android because it's, under the company Alphabet, but it's not. It's a lot better on iOS, a lot more secure, stable, and, video playback is better. And another thing that I've really noticed is updates for YouTube are a lot more frequent on iOS as opposed to Android. Even right now at the time of this video, the YouTube app on Android is not even getting all the new features that are on iOS. They're far behind when it comes to updating the Android app. But yes, third-party apps is one thing you need to consider. A lot of these large companies, when they have only enough money to develop one app for iOS or Android, they go with iOS every time just because of the quality and the user base that's there, and that leaves a lot of people that are on Android devices left out. And all this leads to the biggest downfall for Android, because Android is made for all types of phones, and companies manufacture these phones and then install Android on them, and sometimes they put a little twist on the operating system, but it's Android, right? And that's Google's slogan, is better together, not the same. And they want people to have options, choose their hardware, and choose what, skins and themes and customization that you want to do to your phone. Everybody's on Android, but not the same. And just the existence of this phone misrepresents what Android used to stand for years, because this is now hardware and software that were designed to work together as opposed to what they've been releasing for years. And it's just very ironic to me because Apple's been doing this for years, but Google's finally caught on that to make a good product, you need to have control of both the hardware and the software and make them work well together. And this is the best Android phone I've ever had, and it's probably because of that reason. But overall, Android is evolving. And now that Google's making their own hardware, I'm starting to see some of the shortcomings of Android just disappear. So I'm very excited to see what Google does in 2018 with both the hardware and software. I'd love to switch completely over to Android. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you are an Android fan, tell me why you love Android in the comments below. And also, I'm giving away a free iPhone 10 once I get to 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you find that link in my description below and fill out that form. And make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.